We're just a couple of days away before the January transfer window officially opens. Spurs are being linked to a whole host of players at the moment, including Vrij, Malinovskyi, Barnes, Sarr, Vanderson, Zaha and Gusto. And reports are stating that Spurs will listen to offers for right wing-back Emerson Royal. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another Tottenham news update where I began through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports, particularly on the January transfer window, which is only days away. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button, that subscribe button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start with a comprehensive report from Football.London today. They are stating that the January transfer window opens in just 3 days' time and Antonio Conte needs new faces in his Tottenham Hotspur squad for the second half of the season. Now, this report starts with a quote from Antonio Conte back in October 2022. Antonio Conte said, "I think the club understand very well the importance of bringing in important players, good players, in January. I'm not the person who has to explain this to my club." In this report, it says this winter window will purely be about finding quality while maintaining the numbers. So bringing in upgrades for those currently within the squad, affording some young players the chance to head off on loan to continue their development with regular football. In the report from Football.London, it states that there are two priorities for Antonio Conte's squad in the January transfer window, and they are an attacking player and a right wing-back. Antonio Conte has had to deal with attacking injuries galore this season, with problems for Dejan Kulusevski, Heung-min Son, Lucas Moura and £60 million summer signing Richarlison. The report states that Harry Kane has so far steered clear of injury, while Bryan Hill is desperate for game time and a loan move, with Antonio Conte not seemingly convinced of the 21-year-old's suitability off the bench for him, apart from in emergencies. It also states with Antonio Conte's reluctance to use untested players, Managing Director of Football Fabio Paratici is looking for ready-made alternatives who can slot straight into the Italian system. That Fabio Paratici, the Spurs recruitment chief, is an admirer of the 22-year-old Brazilian midfielder Titi, who is currently on loan at Lyon from Shakhtar Donetsk. The winger has netted 6 goals and laid on 3 assists in 14 league games this season, but he has found starts harder to come by under new Lyon boss Laurent Blanc in the past 6 matches. A number of Premier League clubs have been alerted to his potential availability next month. It then goes on to talk about Tottenham Hotspur target Ruslan Malinovskyi, who of course we have been linked with for some months now. It states that Atalanta's 29-year-old winger remains a player of interest for Tottenham, with his contract running out next summer amid irregular starts for the Ukrainian at the Italian club. While Rennes forward Martin Terrier, who can play across the front three, is a player of interest, having netted 11 goals in 20 matches in the French League and in the Europa League. The third place French club turned down big money offers for the attacker last summer, and with a long contract until 2026, that is unlikely to change next month. This report then goes on to say that Fabio Paratici is understood to like versatile Leicester winger Harvey Barnes, who turned 25 this month. Harvey Barnes has 6 goals in 14 Premier League games this season, but would come with a hefty price tag as he still has 2.5 years remaining on his contract at a club that would be reluctant to part company with him. This report then goes on to say that Fabio Paratici has also been keeping an eye on the progress of 24-year-old Watford winger Sarr, who has 9 goal involvements, that's 6 goals and 3 assists from his 19 championship matches so far this season. The Senegal international scored for his country as they reached the last 16 of the World Cup this month. With 18 months left on his contract, 10 goals and 8 assists from 50 Premier League games in a struggling Hornets side, and the versatility to play anywhere across the front three, Sarr could be another option that Spurs could look at in the January transfer window. This report then goes on to talk about Wilfried Zaha, who of course has been a target for Spurs for some years. It says that Spurs have been long linked with a move for the Crystal Palace winger, and while he turned 30 last month, he does not fit the young player transfer profile of the club. He is now in the final 6 months of his contract, so will come with a reduced fee. The Ivory Coast international has scored 6 goals and provided 2 assists in his 14 Premier League games so far this season, and would add plenty to Antonio Conte's attacking options. And Zaha would be free to talk to clubs abroad from Sunday, though, about a free summer transfer move, which adds plenty of competition should Spurs make a move for the former Manchester United winger, who could count towards their homegrown quota. Previous interest from Spurs in another homegrown player in Anthony Gordon could be scuppered by a reported new Everton contract for the 21-year-old, while another long-term strategy target, Adama Traore, is now in the last 6 months of his deal at Wolves, and like Zaha, the 26-year-old can now talk to foreign clubs next month, while the Midlands club would like to keep him beyond the summer. This report then goes on to talk about right wing backs. It says at right wing back, any newcomer would mean an exit or two, with Tottenham understood to be willing to consider offers that arrive for Emerson Royale over the more versatile Matt Doherty, while a decision would have to be made over a potential loan for summer signing Jed Spence, who is yet to start a match under Antonio Conte. Spurs have a strong interest in 23-year-old Sporting star Pedro Porro, with Fabio Paratici a fan, although there are some doubts whether the 5'7" Spaniard physically would fit the mould of an Antonio Conte wing-back. Sporting boss Ruben Amorim said this week that any interested club would need to pay the £39.7 million release clause to sign the wide man. Also in this report, it says that Fabio Paratici also likes 21-year-old Monaco star Vanderson, with the young Brazilian able to play anywhere down the right-hand side. With a contract until 2027, the French league club could ask for a sizable fee for the youngster. Another wing-back among those on Fabio Paratici's radar is Inter Milan star Denzel Dumfries, with the 26-year-old catching the eye at the World Cup, but interested clubs have been quoted a hefty price tag for the Netherlands star. This report then goes on to say that one young wing-back on Tottenham's radar is Lyon's 21-year-old Malo Gusto, a League One regular with European experience and seen as one of the next big talents in French football. With 18 months left on his contract, the France under-21 international ticks the boxes of Tottenham's transfer profile, although he would need to develop his attacking output to impress Antonio Conte, with just 1 assist so far this season, adding to his 5 from the previous campaign. It then goes on to say that Conte is a big fan of Frank Kessie, and Tottenham have been keeping an eye on the former AC Milan midfielder situation at Barcelona. Later on in the report, it says for Tottenham, another more defensively minded midfielder is not seen as a priority, with Bentancur, Højbjerg and summer signing Basuma, and young talent Oliver Skipp providing plenty of options in those roles, as well as Senegal international Pape Matar Sarr, a prospect for the future. However, with Antonio Conte an admirer, Spurs will continue to monitor that situation along with others, Fabio Paratici being a huge admirer of Juventus midfielder Weston McKennie. In this report from Football.London, it then goes on to talk about Clement Lenglet's loan from Barcelona, and it states being one without a buy option, hints towards that position on the left of the back three being one that will be permanently fixed next summer, either with a deal struck for the Frenchman or Tottenham looking elsewhere, with Antonio Conte a big fan of Inter centre-back Alessandro Bastoni. It then states that Spurs need to get young players out of the club on loan, with Tanganga, Hill, Sarr, potential Spence, Harvey White and teenager Alfie Devine all in need of minutes to develop in their careers. In this report, it then goes on to talk about some possible sales, and it says there is a prospect of selling Giovanni Lo Celso if a bid comes in for the Argentinian international, as his loan deal with Villarreal contains a break clause in January if another club were to make an offer to Tottenham for his services. Joe Rodon could also return from loan at Rennes for a new move if all parties agree in the weeks ahead, if the Wales international situation does not improve with a current lack of game time for the French side either side of the World Cup. A report has just been published by the Daily Express, and they are stating that Tottenham Hotspur head coach Antonio Conte has reportedly requested that Tottenham sign Bayer Leverkusen defender Piero Hincapié, the left-sided centre-back linked with a host of clubs, including Spurs rivals Chelsea. Spurs have now joined the race and are keen for the 20-year-old centre-back to join their backline. Now, during the World Cup, Tottenham Hotspur have been heavily linked to Brighton midfielder Alexis McAllister. Well, a report has just been published by the Daily Mail, and they are stating that the midfielder is set on a move to Juventus in a huge blow to Arsenal and Spurs' hopes of landing Argentina's World Cup winner, with the Italian giants heading the race to sign the Brighton midfielder. Team Talk have just published an article about Tottenham Hotspur target Stefan de Vrij, and they are stating that Atletico Madrid have been eyeing a January swoop for the Inter Milan centre-back, but Tottenham are now leading the race for the Dutchman. Now, my thoughts on all of these stories in this episode, and I tell you what, all of the stories and all of the rumours and all of the reports are coming out thick and fast. The January window hasn't even opened yet. It opens officially on the 1st of January. If you are frustrated by all of these stories and these videos and audio clips coming out, I would suggest probably putting this channel on mute for the next month or so, because there is going to be a hell of a lot of reports, videos and audio clips coming out. But my thoughts, as I said on one of the previous episodes, back Antonio Conte. This club, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, have to back Antonio Conte, get the players in that he wants, get the players in that are going to change this team, improve this team, and get this team challenging for honours. It is as simple as that. Back this manager. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button, that subscribe button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next update. Until then, come on you Spurs.